Hey, we're coming back for a second. We started talking after we stopped recording. I want to ask you something. Nick, did you know the guy called Derek Anthony that used to work for either RX or Muscular Development that died of kidney failure in his 20s or early 30s?
Yeah, I'm not sure if he was born in Jersey, New York. I think he might have been, if I remember. But anyway, I used to see him at all the expos, all the shows around here. He was always around Dave. He's always on the boards. So we became like, this is a long time ago, actually. I wouldn't say he's my best friend, but we definitely were friends. And he was an extremist with things, but like he came off like an arrogant dick online to people. And I know a lot of people didn't like him because of that, but like that was his trolling back then. You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't really a thing then. So people didn't get it. You know what I mean? Like now people know, like when people are trolling each other, you know, it's like, oh, that guy's a troll, but he's funny. Like it's cool to be a troll. And back then it was not cool. So people like legit hated that guy and they like literally wanted him to die. And people would say really fucked up things to that guy, even to his face when we were out. Like we'd be in a club somewhere at an expo, like from an expo, like the Arnold or whatever show, we'd be out somewhere. People would be like, oh, I hope you die, bro. And we're like, I'm like, damn, bro, you get people like that around you? Like that people are like that mean? And he's like, yeah, all the time. And I was like, all right. Like, but he had like thick ass skin for it. Like he could handle it. But I think he had some dark rooted problems, I think, to why he was like he was and not stopping and not, because we all would talk to him. Everyone that was friends with him in our circle would be like, dude, like, when the fuck are you going to stop doing this stupid shit? Because he wasn't just burning the candle from one end either.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking is like, how was he using a lot? Or was he?
I think it was more of his personal life that he was destroying himself. Recreational.
Stuff like that. Oh,
recreation and stress and steroids on top of it. I just think he wasn't a healthy individual overall. I don't think he took care of himself. You know what I mean? I could just tell. I don't know. I have a weird sense when I'm around people. I can kind of get a gif of like how they are. If I went to like his hotel room a couple of times, I could just see how he was a scatterbrain. His shit's all over the place. I can only imagine what his house was like. The way he took care, you know what I mean? I can already know how he was. When we went to dinner, the way he ate was like a savage. Like, you know what I mean? Like there was no precautions like what he should eat. Like there was no limits to what he ate. He was drinking sodas. Like, you know what I mean? Like just like reckless. And I can imagine what he was like when no one was around. And on top of it, I don't want to call him a junkie, but he kind of was when you already know you're dying of something. And
of uppers? Because the reason why I was thinking it was, but sometimes
he did party drugs. He did party drugs.
Okay, because the thing is, it's just his kidneys failed so quickly. That's what scared me.
I think it's the recreational drugs, honestly. I think that had to accelerate. I don't think maybe he was like genetically predispositioned not as to be a genetically strong person to begin with. And on top of it, I don't think he was doing enough steroids to do that, is what I'm saying. I think there was more to the story. And when we went out, we would party. So I don't know what he did behind closed doors.
Yeah, because if people don't know, if you're on Trenbolone, for example, and you take Molly, your blood pressure will be freaking unbelievable.
Yeah, fucked.
You'll fry them. So that's one thing. The other thing is that when he started losing his kidneys, were you in contact? Did you still see him or talk to him? Did you hear like why did he keep pushing it?
He became a different person at the end of his life. So like
the tattoos.
He got really weird, and like it's not that I didn't want to be friends with him. I just wasn't like, I didn't feel like we even were on the same like same frequency anymore talking, you know what I mean? Like he just got weird. And I don't know if maybe the industry got to his head or if he got to his head or the health things got to his head. I'm not putting any blame on him for it. He obviously was going through something. So we weren't that close of friends at the end, like the last 6 months to the year that he was dying. But I knew, he told me, he's like, I'm in bad shape 2 years before that. So like, it wasn't like, it was like 6 months he was dead. He knew there was problems 2 years prior to that. And he's like, yeah, but I'll be fine. I'll just take some sups. And I'm like, dude, like, that's not how you fix things. Like, you can't take gear and fix things. It just doesn't work like that. Like, that's another problem I have with a lot of bodybuilders. They think because their blood work's good, like John talked about that, your blood work's good for 2 weeks doesn't make it okay to go back on.
Exactly. That's just 2 weeks. John was so on point.
Like that was such a great way of him explaining that. Like you got to have repeatedly like a long period, extended period of time to be healthy. And then you can worry about maybe, even John said, maybe going back to that. And he never did that to himself.
And it's the same, by the way, with fertility. That's what I always say with fertility. When people are like, I go off cycle, I took Clomid, my testosterone's back.
Oh my
It's
God,
just back
so
because you're
annoying.
on the drugs. If you
I
go
know,
off
it's
HCG and Clomid, it won't come back.
You're
It took
fucked.
me a year of HCG to repair myself. And now I don't use any.
That's why I tell people, I'm like, are you trying to reset just your receptors, or are you trying to like bring back fertility?
And if you want to reset your receptors, you really want to starve them of androgens. You just want to go totally off. So they starve and then they,
cold turkey shit. Yeah.
So basically,
I feel bad about it. I feel bad for his story though. There wasn't that much positivity around that when he died either though. I didn't feel like there was. Online, did you feel like there was? Were you paying attention to it then?
So I heard of him only 2 years ago. I never knew. I wasn't on Get Big very much. I just used GH15 stuff. I heard about him like 2 years ago, and I did something very creepy to myself, which is I went, because I knew he died from kidney failure, and I was still taking hormones at the time, so I was paranoid. So I went on Get Big, and I read his posts after he died. And people were like, "You're gonna die. You're gonna die." He's like, "No, I'm gonna be alive. I'll be fine. I'll be fine." They're like, "You're gonna die. You're gonna die." He's like, "I'll be alive," and then he was dead. And it was just the most trippy thing. It's like watching Luke when on video,
Fucking eerie, man.
It's very scary.
It's very scary. Very scary. I still have our DMs like in our texts and stuff from Luke, and it's just weird. Like I you know what I mean? Like my WhatsApp with him, and I'm just like,
So the message is value life.
Yeah.
Value life.
Yeah. Like I don't think there's enough people in his corner telling him to stop either. Like, yes, I did, but like I wasn't his boy or anything. I was just somebody he was friends with. So I don't know who was in his corner. I know
exactly what you mean.
You know what I mean? So it's sad to think about that. Like, I don't know if people were actually in his corner.
No, so actually, we'll talk about this off camera. Yeah, let's stop recording. Okay.